presented by Potawatomi Sportsbook. Bet above the rest on Fox Sports 920. Broadcasting from the all-new Iron Jock Studios, built by Reamer Remodel.
Let's get this going right now.
This is WRNW-FM Milwaukee, 97.3 The Game.
We're always trying to get pressure on the quarterback. That's the number one way to disrupt anything on offense. But our D-line came to play, and they did a hell of a job and just got constant pressure.
Was not too shabby either. Butch, I believe I sent you the great Brian Baldinger breaking down the O-line action in his impromptu film session. Love that guy.
It's good.
Love to see that analysis of the line play. For more on the Packers as they get ready to wait all day until Monday night. We waited all day for Sunday night this week, and now we get to wait even longer. Boo. Saints come to town. Matt Schneidman joins us from the Matt Schneidman Show right here on The Game, and of course The Athletic. Great Christmas present. Give it to somebody who loves sports, the subscription. Our Packer Insight is brought to you by Rogers Behavioral Health, Hildebrand Law, The Great Taste of Miller Lite, and Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. There is a difference. Good morning, Matt. How are you?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Good. So how do the Packers come out of this game injury-wise, and is there a single website out there that attempts to quantify how healthy a team is in relation to, say, starter games lost or something like that? The Lions lost David Montgomery for the year yesterday. He wasn't even on the radar after the carnage on Sunday. Another blow to them. I think, Matt, the Packers are pretty healthy, aren't they?
Yeah, I would agree. There is a website out there that estimates that. I forget what it's called, and I don't have it in front of me, but I've seen it before.
It's out there.
Yeah, it is. The Packers are pretty healthy, knock on wood. I remember saying that, a couple weeks ago, and then the next game is when they had a litany of injuries. I forget if it was the Lions game or the Bears game or something. It was one of those midseason games. Listen, you obviously want to get one of your best defensive players back, arguably your best defensive player in Jair Alexander, and this week could be that. He practiced in full the first 2 days of last week, then wasn't ready. Now they have a long week, and they just got to get him right for maybe a couple regular season games in the playoffs. You never know with him, though, and that's not a slight to him. That's just saying, his body has, for lack of a better term, failed him the last couple of years. Packers can get by without him, but they would rather not. So getting him healthy is paramount. Getting Javon Bullard healthy, that's your starting nickel. You want that, but nothing compares to what the Lions are going through. I would say you feel for them, but I'm not sure many Packer fans do. You do want teams at full strength, though, for the playoffs, and they're the best team in the NFL at full strength, and I'm not sure the injury gods will allow them to win the Super Bowl this year.
It's a cruel blow that's being dealt right now to the Detroit Lions, but that's the price of admission when you are a football fan. You never know what's going to happen. I dare even utter this, Butchie, but I'm going to.
You're going to.
Against all karmic advice. Unless I'm missing something, the Packers, Matt, have not lost hardly anyone of significance to a season-ending injury.
Yeah, I don't think they have.
Season-ending.
Season-ending,
Is Tyler Davis done for the year? He's not significant, is he? He's currently on IR. A.J. Dillon, is he significant? Does he count? Never started.
No. Those guys don't count.
Yeah. So they haven't had anybody. And yet there are teams that have lost 2, 3, 4 guys for the year that were expected to be big contributors. So I'm going to shut up and stop talking about that. Let's talk Edgerrin Cooper. What is his secret sauce, Matt, that has people raving about him right now?
He's an incredibly versatile player. He can do it in the pass rush. He can make open field tackles against the run or the pass. He can drop into coverage, as we saw. He can play special teams. I think that is one of the forgotten things that I noticed while rewatching the game yesterday was we're talking all about his defensive exploits, and Matt LaFleur read off his stat line to the team after the game. The 7 tackles, the tackles for loss, the QB hurries, the sack, the interception. And Wes Hodkiewicz has had the good stat that Cooper was the first Packers rookie to have a sack and an interception in a game in a couple decades, I think. I forget the exact date.
Wow.
And then you watch special teams. He has 2 solo tackles on kickoff, one where his left arm really slows up the returner, and then Eric Wilson came in and absolutely leveled the guy. He's just a really complete player. And we saw it back in week 8 in the Jacksonville game when he had that strip sack of Trevor Lawrence, and then the next series he drops 40 yards into coverage to break up a pass on 3rd down for Christian Kirk. He's going to be a stud. And I was talking to Kingsley Enagbare after the game with a couple other reporters, and Kingsley said, yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. He's going to be a Hall of Famer. I said, whoa. The Packers Hall of Famer, pro football? He goes, both. So, yes, he's getting a little carried away there, but I think that just speaks to how this locker room feels about an emerging talent. And he missed the last 3 games, and now he comes back. This versatility is going to be something special for this defense, not only in the present, but also in the future here.
Matt, is that a credit to Brian Gutekunst? Is a credit to the coaching staff? Obviously, there needs to be synergy between both of them, but we just got done watching the Bears play, and it's got the number 1 pick, and you can't develop him. He just looks like he struggles in Caleb Williams, but yet the Packers continue to develop all these guys. So where does it come from? Does it come from the recognition of Gutekunst and belief in these guys? Does it come from the coaching staff? Where does the success come from developing players?
Yeah, I think it's a combination of both. We hear so much about this front office's proficiency at finding guys after day 1 of the draft and developing them. Edgerrin Cooper was still the first linebacker taken in the draft, so it's not like Goody found some diamond in the rough. He was a first-team All-American. He led Texas A&M, a top 10 defense, in tackles for loss, TFLs, and sacks. The only player in the draft to do that for his team. So Edgerrin Cooper wasn't like this hidden gem in the draft. They got him at the 45th pick. It's just that linebackers weren't necessarily top heavy in this draft. And then Matt LaFleur has really credited Jeff Hafley and Anthony Campanelli, the Packers' first-year linebackers coach, for putting him in these positions, whether it's, okay, on the opening 3rd down, you're going to crowd 6 guys at the line of scrimmage, and then Enagbare and Quay Walker are going to drop into coverage while Cooper blitzes, or later in the game, Cooper is going to line up near the line of scrimmage, but then drop into coverage. Kind of just plays with defenses. That's where this versatility comes into play, is you don't really know what Cooper is going to do on any given snap because he can blitz, he can drop, and it's up to Jeff Hafley to scheme him up to confuse other teams. So I think it's a combination of Goody obviously saying, okay, let's get the best linebacker in the draft. That's probably a good idea. And then Jeff Hafley for really using him in some smart ways.
The other part and the question that I have that we've talked about yesterday that I think is amazing is the growth of Matt LaFleur. And you go year 1 with Aaron Rodgers. Was he always himself? Did Aaron really kind of take over? Was he trying to appease Aaron? Versus now, he's created a team that's tougher than I think. He's starting to kind of create a DNA of himself and the team that he wants. What's been the biggest change with Matt LaFleur?
Well, probably that they can't get a challenge right. They're 0 for 6 on challenges this year. I just think, and we got into this a little bit last year, you're seeing his true offense. And I'm not exactly sure where one area to pinpoint that is. I just remember after the shareholders meeting, not this past summer, but 2023 summer, Matt LaFleur was sick and tired of hearing the question, are we going to finally see your true offense now that Aaron's not here? And LaFleur said, no, it's going to be a collaboration. It always has been. Then Mark Murphy gets to the podium after the shareholders meeting. And you guys know, if you want to hear the unfiltered truth about the Green Bay Packers, put Mark Murphy in front of a microphone.
Blurt it out.
And he said, I think we're about to see Matt's true offense this year. So I thought that was pretty funny. If someone asked me, what is Matt's true offense? I don't know that there's exactly one area to pinpoint that, because we don't know how much exactly. We have an idea. Aaron changed at the line of scrimmage compared to how much Jordan now has the freedom to change at the line of scrimmage. But I think the biggest change under Matt LaFleur, and I'm not sure this is a Matt LaFleur thing, it might just be a who the Packers have thing, is they are a run-first team for the first time in a while. And how many times in recent years, and even dating back to pre-Aaron Jones, do they come out and give the running back 9 touches in the first 10 snaps? I understand 2 of those, I believe, were completions, but man, they are a smash mouth team. that it wants to punch you in the mouth early to open up the passing game as opposed to vice versa. And that's worth something here late in the season.
I'd love to compile a first drive run percentage chart league wide just to see where the Packers rank on that.
Well,
So
doesn't Jacobs have the most touches in the first quarter?
I was just about to say that. I saw that stat on the broadcast. Yeah.
So he leads the league in first quarter touches.
Yeah.
I love it. I do think, Butchie, in retrospect, that Murphy was dead on the truth, and that LaFleur, being a pro, didn't want to go there on the whole my offense, Aaron's offense stuff, so he downplayed it. But I believe in retrospect now, he was entirely on it. This is a dumb question, but that's what I'm good at, Matt. Is Jordan Love having a good year?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he's having an above average year, and he's having a well above average last month, I would say. You know, his numbers aren't 300 yards a game and 4 touchdowns, but he's taking what's given to him and pushing the envelope. And when I say taking what's given to him, that sounds like game manager, but you know, like I said, they're a run first team. They've scored 30 plus points in each of the last 4 games. He's protecting the ball. He has not turned it over in the last 4 games. You know, he's not just taking the checkdowns, but he is when he needs to. And he's also making some really good deep throws, whether it's the one to Watson on Sunday night, whether it's the 49-yarder to Watson that he drops against the 49ers. You know, I think he's playing really well right now. First 2 months of the season, I thought he was playing okay, putting the ball in harm's way far too much, but I still think the good outweighed the bad, and that's why they said, all right, stick with this aggressiveness. Don't scale it back. But now the last month, we're seeing Jordan Love still push the envelope like that, but take more calculated risks and not throwing the ball in complete harm's way. And look, you're seeing the results. 7 touchdowns, no interceptions the last 4 games. I think 218 passing yards per game or something. He's letting the running game dictate everything else they do on offense. And that, look, the last 2 games, their offense has disappeared for an entire half. Against the Lions in the first half, against the Seahawks in the second half, pretty much. Spare for 1 drive. They've still scored 30 points in both games. Yeah. What is this offense capable of if it puts together a full performance?
Yeah, good point. All right, Packer fans really penetrated the 12s on Sunday night to the amazement of the Sunday night crew and others. Here is my exit question for you today on a Top 3 Tuesday. Matt Schneidman's top 3 toughest road stadiums to penetrate for fan bases in the NFL.
Ooh, that's a good one. Kansas City.
Okay.
I think I've been to all but 4 of the stadiums for an away game. I'll go Kansas City, Minnesota, and I would say Seattle before Sunday night. So I'll go Detroit up there. Just because.
Say, where's Detroit? Detroit's got to be up there now.
Yeah, Detroit, Minnesota, Kansas City. Kansas City for everything it involves, and then Detroit, Minnesota, just because those are indoor stadiums. The noise in there is absurd. And yes, those are, you know, close for Packer fans, but those fans do a great job showing up and making those places loud.
I would say the bottom 3 are Dallas, LA, and Vegas. Those are like tourist stadiums almost. Yeah. All right, Matt, as always, a pleasure. We'll listen to you tonight at 6 o'clock.